What up, world? I saw Mad Max Fury Road. Um it's technically a continuation, man. The fourth movie in the Mad Max series, which some people call the Road Warrior series. And one of my homies that converses with me on my Facebook movie page, he said when Mad Max 2 was released in Australia, you know what I'm saying, where the movie was made, where the series was originated and all that mess, it wasn't referred to as the Road Warrior in any shape or form, man. It was called Mad Max 2, and they didn't even say anything about the Road Warrior until the end of the movie. A little interesting FYI for y'all. I digress slightly. Um, Starring Tom Hardy, Charlize Theron, Hugh Keays-Byrne, Nicholas Hoult, and Rose Huntington-Whiteley, the chick from Transformers 3, Zoe Kravitz, and like a bunch of other model chicks. And it's directed by George Miller. If you're not familiar with George Miller, he directed all three of the first Mad Max movies: Mad Max, Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, and then he's directed like at least one of the Babe movies, you know, the Talking Pig, and then both Happy Feet movies. If he was going to do he was gonna do a Justice League movie in like 2007, around the same time Dark Knight came out. And if that movie was gonna be anything like Mad Max Fury Road, I don't know if Zack Snyder could have competed. But that's what if, man. What if is make believe. So we ain't talking about that. Let me see. I feel like anything I'm gonna say story related is spoilerish. So I don't want to talk about the story, but it's part of my routine. So I feel like I got to. Tom Hardy takes over for Mel Gibson, who played Max in the first three movies. Um, he mentions what he did before his current world. You know, without saying a spoiler, that's a reference to the very first movie. I think the way that he looks at the very beginning is a slight nod to Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Um, and the villains kind of resemble Tina Turner's character in Thunderdome. People are right. You don't need to see the first three movies to be able to understand and enjoy this movie. But there are slight subtle nods to the first three movies that, if you've seen them, especially recently, like myself, you'll pick up and you'll just, hey, that's dope. That's cool that they did that. Max, man, he's kind of like a drifter, and he gets pulled into a situation. He's being hunted, you know, by scavengers or whatever they say. I think they say it in the preview, which leads to why he's on the front of the vehicle of Nicholas Holt's character, and that leads him into the situation with Charlize Theron's character, who is a badass. And then they're all tied to Hugh Keays-Byrne character, who, another nod, which this news kind of became brought to the light within like the past week or so. He played the toe cutter in the original Mad Max, which is so dope to me because, like, wow, I found all three of the first movies real good but real weird in their own way. Um it's just dope that George Miller brought back the original villain to play a new character. Um, and his name is Immortan Joe, and he's the dude who's got that little face grill thing. It's kind of like a Bane mask device, cause I don't ever see him with it off. And you know, he's like they call him like a warlord or some shit. And I mean, he's basically like a dictator who runs kind of a barter town little area, and he treats the townspeople like peasants. I don't want to give anything away, man. Like, but you'll just, if you go see it, you'll see. Um, and then it's just the who's on whose side, good versus evil, cat and mouse, game of chase, hide and go seek. It's hard to, like I said, it's hard to explain this movie without giving any of it away. I don't want to give any of it away, man, because if you guys go see it after you see my review, I want y'all to go in fresh. Just know that the story is worth it. Even if you ain't fixated on the story, it's worth watching. But I love the way that Tom Hardy played Max, because he kind of played Max the way Mel Gibson did from the Road Warrior, from Mad Max 2. He was real quiet, short on dialogue, spoke when he needed to, and he left an impact. He made the character his own. While he took traits and qualities that Mel Gibson gave the character, Tom Hardy still made Max his own character. And like I said, Charlize Theron is like the new female badass character. You know what I'm saying? Like, this might be my favorite Charlize Theron movie since The Italian Job in 2003. But I can't say that she's the first badass chick in movies in such and such time, because we just got Emily Blunt last year. Just add her to the list of like super badass female action characters. Nicholas Hoult, I've only seen him as Beast in X-Men First Class and Days of Future Past. But his character was memorable, and he has the tagline for the posters. Oh, what day! What a lovely day! I can't do Australian, but that was my Nicholas Hoult Mad Max Fury Road impression. The scenery, man, like the landscape, the cinematography. This is one of the most beautiful looking shot movies I've seen since like Skyfall. And there's fight scenes, but they're not your typical fight scenes. And the way it's shot, the way that the fight and the action is shot, man, it rivals Kingsman as far as like how I complimented Kingsman earlier this year, and as good as that was. I don't feel like I've said enough, but I feel like I've said too much. That makes no sense at all. I will say, man, like, I don't want to get spoiled, man, because like 3 of the past 4 movies I've watched, I've given my highest of high rating to. Mad Max Fury Road is dope as fuck. If you're hesitant about going to see this movie because you don't kind of like something that you see in the trailers or whatever, fuck that. Go watch it. This movie deserves box office pull. Like I said, the first 3 movies are good. All 4 Mad Max movies are completely different in their own way. They're all good in their own way. Fury Road is my favorite of the series. If the rumors or speculation or whatever it is true, and George Miller already has Mad Max 5 in motion, please don't take another 30 years to get that motherfucker out. It's supposedly called Mad Max Furiosa. I would love to see where these characters, or at least where Tom Hardy's version of Max goes from here. He supposedly signed on for a total of 5 movies. What did you think of Mad Max Fury Road? Man, I loved Avengers Age of Ultron, especially upon my second viewing of it. But I think I like Mad Max a little better, like by this much of a fucking hair that's on my damn chin. And I love superhero movies. And also, like I did, I want to know, did y'all watch the first 3 Mad Max movies before this one came out? And what else are you watching this weekend? Are you watching Mad Max? Are you watching Pitch Perfect 2? Are you going back watching Avengers, Hot Pursuit? And that's another thing I wanted to say. Once in a while I'll get asked, how come I give most of what I watch good ratings? I almost gave y'all a bad review last week because I have not heard good things. I have not heard any positivity from Hot Pursuit, and I was this close to going to watch that shit. So that would have been a shitty review. My wife didn't want to go watch it, so I said I wasn't going to watch that shit alone. It wasn't even worth it. Like I said, I pay for everything I go to see, so I'm not going to see every single thing that comes out. But what I am going to see next weekend, Tomorrowland, and the last weekend in May, San Andreas. And then we in June, man. This year is going by way too motherfucking fast. Y'all know where I be at, man. Hit me on on the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, the YouTube, of course. Roll credits, man. Peace.